food, right? If your limbic system is impaired and you're always in that fight or flight, you're constantly releasing these chronic inflammatory hormones, right? A lot of people think of adrenaline, cortisol, norepinephrine as anti-inflammatory, but the research is starting to show that if you are constantly in a state of fight or flight and you're always releasing these hormones, that it's your ability to process them becomes blunted. So your receptors become blunted to it, and it's like they reduce the ability to effectively reduce those hormones, right? Um, to process them. So you're constantly in this state of fight or flight. If you've been living with, especially if you've been like living with chronic illness for like 20 years or something, or trauma, you just have some past trauma or whatever. So obviously, so you're constantly in a state of inflammation, right? So you see how this affects your gut. Your digestion slows down. You produce less stomach acid. People start developing these overgrowths of bacteria, candida, whatever. SIBO is a huge thing. So stress alone, people always talk about, I don't know, like, or sort of the reasons people, I mean, there's a lot of different reasons why you could develop SIBO, antibiotics or whatever. But like, I really think stress is probably the main thing. And our society now that we live in, we're not designed for 24/7 stress. Like, that's the modern world that we live in. Our limbic system was designed for fight or flight from predators, right? From being killed or being injured. But now it's designed for like traffic jams and asshole bosses or guys giving crazy speeches, saying fuck it or whatever, right? So we live in this modern world where it doesn't make sense anymore, right? So whether or not we believe it or not, and all this stuff adds up throughout our day, right? We go to work, we're sitting at a desk all day, everybody's in a constant state of stress, right? That's what we're designed for now. And over time, that compounds. And so when that happens, we're in a state of inflammation. Everybody's in a state of, everybody, and a lot of it obviously does have to do with diet as well. But I think the stress is a huge miscomponent in all this. So a lot of people I speak to that have digestion issues, they're doing the carnivore diet, but this is the one thing that they haven't addressed, right? And they start doing these detox programs and everything else. Well, guess what else gets shut down when you're in a state of fight or flight? Your organs, right? Your non-essential organs, right? So your liver, all that energy, all that oxygen gets pumped to your heart, gets pumped to your muscles, right? Gets pumped to certain areas of your body that are designed to flee from danger, right? But now we're not fleeing, we're more in a state of freeze. We're in this constant state of freeze, right? We don't like, when we get stressed out from our bosses or whatever, we're not like running away and, we're just freezing there and it just like stores up. So that's where the brain retraining really comes into place. It gives your body the chance to say, okay, you know what? I am safe. I don't need to constantly be in a state of danger anymore. And it's really about bringing down the inflammation. Your detox pathways start opening up. Your digestion starts getting better. Your stomach acid starts increasing again. And your body just starts working in unison. The problem is this isn't just something like Jen said. It's not something you could just do in a week, right? We have some people try out our group. Sometimes we have like 2-week free trials. By the way, everyone here gets a free month. Anyway, but we have like 2-week free trials. And people might try for like a few days and like, oh, I did a bit of gratitude journaling. I didn't feel any different. It's like, well, if you've been living with chronic illness for like 10 years or 20 years or 30 years, or you've had trauma as a kid, that's not something that just resolves overnight because you did a little bit of gratitude journaling, right? This needs to become a way of life. It needs to be 24/7. And it wasn't until I started doing this throughout my entire day, like just checking in with myself, that I started to see some real progress. I know like JC is someone who actually really inspired me with this. Actually, Ribeye Rachel's uh, first person who really got me into this. And I don't know, is anyone here familiar with Ribeye Rachel? Yeah.
Got me to you to be here.
Yeah, right. So I've had her on my channel. She's the one who actually introduced me to this, so I give her credit for it. But sorry. But if you guys are aware of her story, I mean, she had like severe brain injury, right? She had Lyme disease, she had SIBO,